If you jumped 50,000 years into the future, the first thing you'd notice is that your phone has finally run out of battery. The second thing you'd notice is that absolutely everything else has changed, starting with the sky. The constellations would look unfamiliar, scrambled by the slow drift of the stars. Orion's belt might now be Orion's slightly disappointed fanny pack. But as your eyes adjust, you'd realize you haven't just traveled through time. You've stepped into a version of Earth that has had 50 millennia to take your absence and run wild with it. The planet itself would greet you with a kind of patient shrug. Continents haven't dramatically rearranged yet. Plate tectonics move slower than your internet during a storm. But coastlines would feel different. Sea levels might be higher or lower depending on long-term climate cycles. And forests could sprawl across regions that today are deserts, or vice versa. The Earth is like a big, messy painter who never stops working on the same canvas. As you walk around, you'd notice the air feels slightly different. Tiny shifts in temperature, humidity, and maybe even oxygen levels. Nothing extreme, just enough to make you wonder if you've developed a mysterious new allergy to the future. And what about humans? Well, that depends on whether we're still here. Statistically speaking, surviving 50,000 more years is a pretty ambitious ask for a species that sometimes microhabs forks on purpose. But let's assume we made it. You might meet descendants of humanity who look mostly like us, but slightly different. Evolution doesn't rush, but over 50,000 years, it does whisper suggestions. Maybe people are taller or shorter, or have subtle adaptations to new environments. Maybe everyone has perfect posture, or maybe we've decided posture is overrated and evolved into very sophisticated slouching creatures. Language would likely be completely unrecognizable. Even today's languages wouldn't be mutually intelligible with their own ancestors from just 5,000 years ago. By 50,000? Good luck even ordering a coffee without accidentally proposing marriage. Technology, meanwhile, would either be breathtakingly advanced or eerily absent. If civilization flourished, you might see megacities powered by clean energy, quantum computers hanging from people's keychains, or medical systems so advanced that a stubbed toe prints out a new foot just to be safe. On the other hand, if humanity hit a few extinction-level speed bumps, asteroids, supervolcanoes, or that one guy who insists AI isn't dangerous, Earth might look like a lush, post-human paradise. Nature would reclaim everything, and future archaeologists, whether human or slightly more confident raccoons, would dig up our plastic forks and wonder why an entire species worshipped a material that melted in the dishwasher. Animals would also surprise you. Some species will have gone extinct, others will have filled their ecological shoes in unpredictable ways. Imagine giant penguins taking over warm climates, or raccoons evolving into the galaxy's most mischievous problem solvers. If you stay long enough, you might even meet dogs, or whatever dogs have become after 50,000 more years of selective breeding for good boys. But here's the funny part. After taking in the future cities, forests, skies, and vaguely threatening raccoon people, the biggest shock might be how familiar it all feels. Because after 50,000 years, 500 centuries, Earth is still Earth. Life still adapts, evolves, and improvises around whatever chaos the universe throws at it. And if humanity survives long enough to greet you, they'll likely be just as curious about you as you are about them. They'll ask what the past was like, and you'll try your best to explain, but honestly, how do you summarize the internet, memes, TikTok trends, and the fact that we voluntarily put pineapple on pizza? And maybe that's the twist. Traveling 50,000 years into the future wouldn't just show you what the world becomes, it would show future humans what you came from. You'd be a living time capsule, the last witness of an ancient era they can only dream about. And for one brief moment, as both sides stare across 50,000 years of history, you might realize that the greatest constant in our universe isn't technology or biology. It's the simple, stubborn human desire to wonder what comes next.
So as we step back from the edge of 50,000 years of possibilities, one thing becomes clear. The future is never fixed. It's shaped by every choice we make today. And some choices carry shadows that stretch far beyond our own time. So if you're ready to explore one of humanity's darkest what-ifs, journey with us into the next episode. What happens after nuclear war?